Hi guys, Aaron Leaf Green, the Green Psychic. Thank you for joining me again on a Sunday night for your free triple deck reading. As always guys, the choices are 1, 2 or 3. Choose whichever one resonates with you, whatever number you've been seeing around, whatever one you like. The timestamps are in the description, so you can skip ahead to that reading if need be. Just wanted to say, if you want a full reading with me, you can contact me through my website or through the socials. Just letting you know, though, to the people that have been booking me through the website, I have had to take down the appointment, the calendar on the website, because it wasn't linking up with my other calendars for work, which were leading to double readings. Every time you went onto the website, it was showing a blank calendar, and I'm not tech savvy. I couldn't fix it. So instead, I've just pulled it down, and I've put up a booking form instead. So just let me know how long you're after and a couple of times and dates that are good for you, and we'll work something out. Again, just remember, I do have an international client base, so I do work outside the normal hours of operation. Apart from that, last week's video I accidentally put on the wrong account, so it's going to be up on the right account this week. Special yell out to Casey Louise for bringing it to my attention. Thank you so much. But without further ado, choose your number and let's get into the reading. Blessed be. Hi guys, Aaron Leaf Green, the Green Psychic. Thank you for joining me again on a Sunday night for your free reading. Okay, so if you chose pile number 1, then this is your reading. Okay, so we've got the younger gentleman card here as your overall card. Now, this symbolizes, when it's the right way up, it symbolizes being carefree, just going with the flow, that sort of a scenario. So with it upside down, it is saying that right now, I'm trying to get my cards out of frame. It is saying that you do need to come up with a plan, a strategy. You can't just sit back and let things come to you and wait for the universe to, like, send you Prince Charming on a silver platter. Like, the universe helps us out, but not to that extent. Everything in life is 50-50. You give to get, up, down, left, right, wrong. And when it comes to getting what you want out of life and help from the universe, again, it's 50-50. You need to put in 50% of the work if you want something in life, and the universe then helps you out. As long as you're not hurting yourself or anybody else, then that's what happens. Bubba, stop it. I'm sorry, fur baby is still molting. Okay, so this is saying that you need to come up with a bit of a plan, bit of a strategy. Now, I feel like that this is specifically about tackling problems that you're either already dealing with or are just around the corner, okay? So it's kind of, I feel like it's come up with backup plans, like, you know, I'm planning on saving up a money. We'll go with this as an example. I'm saving up to go on a world cruise in March, okay? And I'm going to go to Italy and Greece and all these different places. Now, that's great, plan for that, but have a backup plan just in case, for whatever reason, you don't have the money to go on a world cruise. I mean, like, who does, really? But we're using this as a metaphor. So instead, have a backup plan that, okay, well, if I can't get to the world cruise in March at the moment, at this time, maybe I'll just go for a short cruise to the Bahamas, or I don't know where a cheap Bali, you know, I don't know where a cheap, nice destination is because I don't travel, but you get my point. Have that backup plan that, well, maybe I can't travel the world at the moment, but I can still go on a cruise. Or I can still go away for the weekend, you know, even if it's camping. I know a lot of people just, ugh, but I love camping, just for the record. But it is that sort of scenario that you do need to have a structure and a plan in place, okay? You can't just ignore this. You can't stick your head in the sand. You can't, don't get trapped in denial. These are all the things that I'm getting for you this week, okay? Or well, what's just ahead. Now, I've got the work card here. Now, this is actually saying that there may be actually some work issues going on. Now, this is saying keep working. Again, it's being tied into this card of have a backup plan, have a strategy, don't just sit back and go with the flow. This is saying you need to keep your eye on the ball, you need to keep working, you need to keep doing what you're doing. But I do feel like that there are some volatile issues around work at the moment, regardless of whether it may be that you've made a mistake and are worried about being reprimanded, or there's a change in management, or somebody new is coming in and you're feeling like they're going to take your job. There's all these issues around work at the moment. It could simply be that it's a hostile work environment, somebody's got the cranks, or there's just some work issues that you need to deal with. Okay, so those work issues are really tied into have a plan, have a backup plan. If stuff goes wrong at work, a new employee comes in or something like that is, you feel like he's going to try and take your job, you need to actively figure a way of trying to deal with these things. Because if you just leave it is going to explode. It's going to get very volatile. So you need to come up with a plan, regardless of what that is. There is the need to act on this, and not just put your head down and go with the flow, because now is not the time to be doing that with work. Okay. Now there is the blessing card. I actually felt like I was turning that up the wrong way as I did it. But the blessing card doesn't have a negative, okay? The blessing card there is a blessing at the end of the rainbow here. So, look, I don't feel like that this is you're going to win the lotto, or you're going to be, finally recognized, and, it's not that sort of a blessing, but it is a blessing of this trouble that's ahead. It's happening for a reason. It could help you, it's going to help you in some way. It may give you coping mechanisms with dealing with this sort of issue in the future. It could simply be that through this you're starting to see people's true colors, and can therefore make changes to your life. Sometimes the people right in front of us that we care the most about are the ones that hurt us and use us the most, and we kind of are in denial about that, and we turn a blind eye. This could be finally that wake-up call. And I'll be completely honest, people don't like it. People that tend to use or abuse or feel entitled when it comes to interacting with other people, they don't like it when you point out that they're being hypocrites. Somebody that is like, oh, well, nobody ever recognizes me and I do so much for them and I'm always there for them, yet they owe you money, or they're taking advantage of you, and you're like, do you not see the hypocrisy, the double standards? You're complaining about somebody doing this to you, but you're doing it to me. How is that fair? And you point that out, they don't like that. They're like, no, because they're the victim, they're entitled, and because somebody else is treating them badly, they're entitled to treat somebody else badly. It's not right, it's not fair. And a lot of times, you've got to understand, a lot of times people don't realize that that's what they're doing, and until you point it out, and it's just like, so that's what I'm getting tied around this whole situation. There is a blessing in disguise here. Okay. And look, a lot of people, that when you point out, like, you're complaining about this person doing this to you, but you've been doing it to me. Sometimes people, they understand, and they're like, they walk away and go, oh crap, I can't believe I was doing that. They need some time to settle down, and they come back and there's an apology, or they come back and go, no, you're right, and fair's fair. I know what it feels like, so yes, I'm going to treat you right and do the right thing. A lot of times, people just need to be pointed out so that they can understand. It's the same as anger. Somebody's boss might be taking out all their anger on this one person. So this one person comes and takes all their anger out on you, whilst complaining that that's what their boss is doing. And you're like, well, why are you doing it to me if you know how bad it feels? Like, and yet I'm always here as a shoulder to cry on. And then they're like, you know what? You're absolutely right. When they go away and think about it, you're absolutely right. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. It's that sort of a situation. Now, I've got the older woman card here. Now, this card, stop it, Bubba. Normally stands for reflection and looking over yourself and making sure you're doing everything right, and have you done anything wrong that you need to make up for, because I do feel like that there is a little bit of that going on, and just making sure that you're on the right path and you're doing the right thing, okay? And that's what I'm getting here, but I'm also getting this older woman, look, I'm getting wisdom. There's wisdom around this older woman. Now, it doesn't have to actually be physically an older woman around you, but there is some sort of wisdom around you at the moment, that is coming in from another source that I feel like is going to make you grow up a little bit, so to speak, where you put away those childish feelings of entitlement, or technically I'm right about everything. Well, you might be technically right, you might be technically wrong. It depends on your viewpoint. Like, you know, are you taking advantage of somebody? Even if that's not your intention, is that what has been happening? Or are you the one being taken advantage of? You know, that's what the reflection card is, making sure that you're on the right path and doing the right thing, okay? But there is some wisdom around, so keep your ears open and listen, and be open to taking on constructive criticism, because that's how we ultimately grow. There's difference between taking on criticism and constructive criticism, especially if it's from somebody that you care about or trust, and have a connection with. You should know if you've pushed somebody to push it, if somebody has been pushed to breaking point where they can't keep it to themselves and actually come to you, or you go to somebody and say, look, what you've been doing has really been hurting my feelings, has been really affecting me, then if that's the sort of scenario that's going on at the moment, then listen to that, take it on board, because it's not just somebody being bitchy, it's not just something small, okay? Especially if you've got a background with this person that, you know, has never hurt you, then take that on board, because it's a growing thing. It's growing up, it's maturing, and being able to put your hand up and admit when you're in the wrong. Okay, so if this is happening to you, as in you've been pushed to breaking point, give that person, be completely honest. You don't have to be harsh or rude or anything like that. Two adults having a conversation, express that. Then the ball is in that person's court, okay? It's up to them whether they can take it on board, grow up, and mature and admit that they were wrong, or come back and apologize, or converse about the whole situation, or they'll just blank you and disappear out of your life. If that's the outcome here, then it's a blessing in disguise. You don't need people like that in your life, because it shows that they don't appreciate you. They never have, and they never will. So why do you want them in your life? You know, regardless of anything else. So yeah, look, it is a very complex situation for you guys this week, but overall, don't just stick your head in the sand. Don't go with the flow. You need to have structure and come up with a plan of attack. Be warned that there are going to be issues around work. Now, these might not be big issues. I'm not feeling getting fired or anything like that, but stressful issues. Don't let it get to you. Again, come up with that backup plan that, okay, this person, you know, they've been called in on their week off. So they're going to be in a terrible mood. So come up with that plan that, okay, they're going to be aggro all week, so I'm just going to be nice as pie and try and steer clear of them. You know, that's a blessing. That could be a coping mechanism where at the end of the week you're like, phew, I dodged a bullet there. You know, I'm gonna take that on board and use that in the future. And then just make sure that you're doing that in the right way. So you know, communicate, and yeah, just go with it, and just watch all around you this week. Again, there is that word of wisdom that's going to be in your ears, so keep that in mind. All right, guys, I really hope that helped. If you do want before I go, if you do want a full reading, you can contact me via my website. Now, I've taken down the appointment page, the calendar page. Anybody that's booked through my website will know that I normally have a calendar up there, and you can book your day and time and all of that. I've had to pull that down because I'm not tech savvy. It's not linking up with my other calendars. So I'm getting double bookings through that. So what I've had to do is remove that, and I've put up a booking form. So you just put down what type of reading or cleansing or magic that you're after, and some times that suit, times and days. And that's sent through to me as an email, and then we can work together to book you in. As you know, I have an international client base, so I do work outside the normal hours by appointment. But yeah, that's all up there. And obviously I will be going live on TikTok at 7 p.m. on Sunday nights. So until then, guys, hope this has helped. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next week, blessed be. Hi guys, Aaron Leaf Green, the Green Psychic. Thank you for joining me again on a Sunday night for your free triple deck reading. Okay, so if you chose pile number 2, this is your reading. Okay, so we're dealing with a sex card here, upside down. So don't freak out. Well, actually freak out a little. This could be lack of sex, but look, I regret ever making this sex card. I really do. It's highly inappropriate, and it's not what this card really stands for. I mean, it does, but at the same time, it's a card of passion, impulse, stuff that we want, but we don't necessarily need. It's like, oh, I want to buy a new car, but you buy the car of your dreams, but I wanted white and it's black. At the end of the day, that's not a big thing, you know, and that's what this card is saying. So it's kind of like, look, something's not going to work out the way you want it to perfectly, but it's a little thing, and I'm kind of getting the feeling that without meaning offense, it's kind of like, it's a little thing, so try to get over it. And I hate saying that to people, because straight away when somebody says get over it, it's such a negative thing, and we get our backs up and we get offended, and we're like, but it's like, try to deal with it, try to process it and move forward. What I'm getting here is kind of like, I'll give you an example. I feel like there may have been a fight or a miscommunication, and you're in the right, the other person's in the wrong, and you're hoping to get this full-blown apology. But what actually ends up happening is they test the waters, as people do, with little short messages to see, you know, how you respond to them, and then are like, okay, well, we had a miscommunication, let's just move forward. So it's kind of like, the point of that is you want them to apologize so that the two of you can move forward. And instead of apologizing, they recognize there was a miscommunication, and then are like, well, let's just move forward and forget about it. On one hand, the overall picture is that you wanted to reconcile and move forward, which you have, but it's not the ideal way of it happening. You didn't get that apology, or you didn't get that, well, yes, there was a miscommunication because you weren't hearing what I was saying and took everything I said the wrong way. And then, you know, are acting like the bigger person, like I'm in the wrong, but let's just forget about it, move forward. You know, it is that sort of a situation. So, having said that, it's not necessarily a good or a bad thing. It's up to, it's dealer's choice how you deal with this. Personally, I get this, I've had this a lot in my life, where I'm in the right, the other person's in the wrong, but we casually just, you know, move forward. And a lot of the time I always used to bite my tongue, because I'm like, it's not that I don't like conflict. Well, I don't like conflict, but it's not that I'm not good at conflict, because go me and I'll go you back. That's just who I am. It's built into my gay DNA that I've got the bitch gene active. But it's not necessarily that. I am a firm believer of not so much let sleeping dogs lie, but why cause a fuss if a fuss doesn't need to be? Because it all creates negative energy. Now, yes, that makes sense. It still resonates with me. I still believe that. However, keeping your mouth shut and continued to be walked over, neglected, disrespected, not being apologized to, not getting an apology when you deserve to get that apology, does not lead to happiness. It just leads to a circle, a pattern, where this person comes back and thinks that they can do it again and again and again and again, which, like I said, I have lived my life most of my life like that. And then when I turned around and finally stood up for myself, people don't like it when you stand up for yourself. And I kind of like, well, no, we had dinner plans and you just didn't turn up or message me or call me. That's not right. Then they get all, defensive because you're actually calling them out. So keep that in mind. I'm giving that as a metaphor. If that ever happened to me, I would rip somebody a new one, but I'm using it as an example. It's dealer's choice. You can move forward, or you can realize that, well, if you can't apologize to me, or if you can't admit that even half of what I said was true, or can't talk about the miscommunication, if you just want to forget it and move forward, well, then there's an issue there that you need to make that choice of whether to move forward with this person or to put your hands up and go, look, I've said my piece, you've come back basically trying to ignore what I've said. It's up to you whether you move forward with that person or not. Sometimes it's the other person might find it hard to apologize. A lot of people do, or to admit they're wrong or whatever. If they are moving forward without that apology or admitting that they're wrong, but you can tell that they've taken it on board, maybe give them a second chance. That's fine. But if this is kind of like, no, you're fucking wrong, excuse my language, no, you're wrong, and we're just going to pretend that it didn't happen to move forward, well, there are bigger questions there to ask. For one, if they truly believe that you were in the wrong but want to move forward, that doesn't make sense to me. That means to me that they want something from you, and that can only lead to bad things. If they're going to know you're wrong but I still want something from you, that can only lead to bad things for you, because it just means that they're going to do it again and again and again. So look, it is your call. I'm not saying, sometimes we're stuck in a situation where we have no choice but to move forward. It might be a family or a friend or an ex or neighbor, but that's why I'm saying this isn't necessarily good or bad. It's dealer's choice. All right, so over here, look, this is good. This is a succubus card upside down. This is draining energy and worry and stress and all of that. So in this whole scenario, it could be that you decide, enough's enough. No, look, I've put all my cards on the table. I've told you how I felt. If you don't want to move forward, if you don't want to talk about that, well, then, good for me, because then I get to stop stressing and worrying about this. It's less of a burden for you. This could be you deciding that, no, I don't want to deal with this person anymore, and walk away, and then suddenly, wow, I feel so light. I'm not taking all of this person's energy on and all of their problems and worry and concern. This is a good outcome for you. This is letting go of that. Now, again, it could be that you do move forward with this person, but you're both adults. You communicate, you understand, you have that conversation, you come to an understanding, and you can move forward together stronger than before, because you are on the same page. You have talked about it, you've cleared the air, which leads to both of you losing that worry and stress and anxiety about the whole thing. So again, dealer's choice. It could go both ways. But either way, it's going to end up good for you. Transformation, change. So this is a very positive outcome, that whatever this conflict or communication issue is that it is going to be resolved in a positive way. Somebody might get offended that you've stood up to them or put them in their place. But, give them a little bit of time. They might process it and understand where you're coming from and come back to the table. Or they might turn around and go, like a lot of times they need to calm down. They might turn around and go, you know what? I don't think what you said was fair, and this is how I feel. And then that leads to honest, clear communication between the two of you, that hopefully that you can work things through. And this is saying that it is positive change. You are going to be able to have that conversation, as long as you're both being adults and being honest and clear. You've got to be able to see things from other people's point of view, not just your own, just like they need to be able to see things from other people's point of view, not just your own. But this is very positive of change in a positive way and getting rid of that stress, worry, and anxiety. Okay, now the last card here is the spirit energy. So I do want to say that overall, whatever this issue is about, it's not based in malice or harm. It's not based in one person trying to just abuse another person or use them, or it's not ill intention, because this is spirit energy. This is positive energy. Okay, this is a lot of support, a lot of love. Look, to me, this is like there's a lot of history there. There is a future there. So this is a lot of processing of the whole situation. Okay, this is positive energy. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes we need to stand up to the people closest to us, and they might not like that. And a lot of times they don't like it because this has been going on for so long, they didn't see it. And they're like, well, why are you just bringing it up now? And it's like, well, something's triggered you to bring it up now, or something's triggered them to bring it up now with you. So, look, sometimes we need to take a step back and realize, well, this has been going on for years and I had no clue. And that's kind of, we turn that feeling into, I'm offended, I can't believe it. And then we go through and we defend ourselves. And all of that is natural human psychology. But that's where it's like, are you a narcissist or are you a normal person that can turn around and go, well, you know, I can be offended and defend myself in this situation, but honestly, if this is how they're feeling, well, I need to talk to them about it because I don't understand. Like, how long has this been going? Like, there is that need for more communication. And that's what I'm saying. It's not, you should know this person well enough to know that they're not going at you, they're not having a go. It is just a form of communication. It is just, things need to change. You know, sometimes, you know that saying of you put a frog into a hot boiling pot of water, it'll jump straight out. But if you put it into a cold pan and slowly turn the heat up, it'll boil to death. A lot of times we find that in our situation. We set out clear guidelines and things start sliding so slowly and gradually that, you know, 5 years later, you're in a totally different place than when you started. So sometimes that conversation is, we need to get back to where we started because this isn't acceptable, and it's been happening so gradually that it's time to get back to roots. A lot of times that's what this is what this communication is about. The other thing here I'm getting is actually I am going to leave that because we're really long, but it was about you know, people owing you money and not wanting to bring it up with them because you feel bad and you know they have expenses and blah blah blah. But if you need that money and that is owed to you, especially if you've had previous conversations about it and they still don't give you that money or pay you back or whatever, then there is that decision of how to approach that. Do you end that friendship, or do you have another conversation, or what do you do? There is positive information. There are different avenues to attack a situation like that, okay? But that was very secondary. Anyway, guys, I will leave it there. If you do want a full reading, you can contact me via my website, thegreenspsychic.com, or through the socials. Just letting you know, and to the people that have been booking on my website, I've changed it up a little bit. I've gotten rid of the calendar and appointment page because I'm not tech savvy. It wasn't linking up with my actual calendar, and I was getting people booking in on the website, and my calendar was appearing blank on the website, and so I was doubling up on bookings, and it was causing issues. So I've removed that. There is now a form up there. You just let me know how long of a reading you want. Give me some times and days that work for you, and it gets emailed to me, and we will converse until we book you in. Also, don't forget, I do have an international client base, so I do work outside of the normal hours by appointment. And I will be live Sunday nights at 7 PM on TikTok. If you have the ability to come over and say g'day, feel free. Until next week, guys, blessed be. Hi guys, Aaron Leaf Green, the Green Psychic. Thank you for joining me again on a Sunday night for your free triple deck reading. Okay, so if you chose number 3 is for me, then this is your reading. Okay, so we've got the elderly card as your overall card. Geez, I just looked to make sure that was, I really hope that the other readings had the cards in frame because I only just looked and saw how high up that was. Okay, So this is the elderly card. This is something long lasting. This is something good coming. I feel like I want to say you're on easy street. Now that might not mean financially, that might mean relationship wise, you finally met the right person and it's going to be long lasting. But there is something good here that is long lasting, okay? Same as if you're thinking about retirement, but worried that, oh, I'm going to run out of money and have to go back to work. No, this is, you don't need to worry about money. You don't need to be, you retire and you're gonna spend a long, happy life in retirement. Okay, now if there is anything new that's around you that you're excited about and you're wondering if it's going to be long lasting, regardless of whether it's a relationship, an opportunity, a good luck streak where money's working out, this is very positive for a long lasting thing. Now, don't get ahead of yourself, okay? So hypothetically, you've just started dating somebody and there's something special about them and you're like, okay, we've been dating for 3 months. I think this is the person I'm going to end up with. Don't jump the gun and go, well, let's get married, because you will scare that person off 9 times out of 10. It's kind of that, have that knowledge that it's going to be okay. This is the person, you will eventually get married, you'll eventually have kids, all of that stuff, or, whatever. You're going to have a life together. Take that knowledge, put it in your heart, put it in your head, and understand that, wow, this is long lasting. This is something. It's supposed to be good news, okay? You're not supposed to actually do anything with this news, okay? This is more to let you know that, yes, this is it, so that you can finally start to relax, let go of a little bit of anxiety and stress and worry and depression. But it is saying that there's no need for action here. Don't, suddenly, oh, okay, well, maybe you've got a side business and it started making a profit and you're very happy. Doesn't mean that you book a trip right now to go around the world, Don't, whatever this positive thing is, it's still at the beginning, but it is going to be long lasting and really good, okay? So it is saying, don't jump the gun, don't suddenly, oh, I'm starting to make money, I'm going to buy a gold-plated toilet seat. Wait. It is saying just, maybe in 12 months' time, you'll be able to buy 10 gold-plated toilet seats. But right now, it's kind of like you're still in the early stages, but it is about understanding that there is a future here for you. Okay, that this is going to be something that you're going to enjoy, you're going to get a lot out of, it's going to be very positive, but again, just go with the flow, let it open up and let it happen as it happens. Don't force it. That's basically what this is saying. Don't force it. It's going to happen naturally. Just let it happen. It's going to be totally fine. Okay. So look, yeah, this is, don't overdo, don't do too much, don't push the envelope. Again, we've got the metaphor here of an elderly couple. An elderly couple, they're sitting there looking at that mountain. It's not like they're going to be like, okay, let's go and climb that mountain, They're probably in their 80s, maybe 90s. You really think they're going to make it up the bloody mountain climbing? You can't push yourself, can't overdo, because you'll put yourself in an early grave. This has nothing to do with retirement, in case my mother's watching, being worried about retiring and that. It really is just saying, don't push yourself. You're supposed to sit here and enjoy this good thing happening. Watch it grow. Just look at them, just spending time together, watching the beauty around them, okay? And that's what you're supposed to be doing. Don't push the envelope. Now, okay, so this is the home card. This is a wish card, and it is upside down, which is funny because this reading is very, very positive. And then we've got the wish card upside down. Now, I'm not actually being drawn to the wish part of this card. I actually feel like that this is saying there's a shake-up coming, and it's a good shake-up. It's kind of like, okay, well, let's hypothetically say that you've got a business that starts making money. Well, I'm going to move out of this shit house that I'm renting into something really beautiful, or I'm going to sell this shit house that I've got, this tiny little house that I've got, and buy a mansion. Again, it's not saying now is the time to make these big things, but it is saying that there's a shake-up coming, and it's in a good way. It's kind of like, whatever's happening is going to force you to reevaluate things in your life. Okay, so this isn't bad. I'm not picking up that this is bad. I'm actually picking up that it's like, this could simply be, oh, I'm starting to date somebody. Well, this is actually turning into something serious. So, you know, maybe I need to change aspects of my life. Like, it's one thing to start dating somebody and just be like, yeah, let's see where this goes. And you don't put in 100% effort, you know, whatever, just in case, you know, it doesn't work. But when you start seeing that there is a possibility of a future there, that's when you start, well, maybe we can open a joint bank account. Never do that. I'm using it as a metaphor. And start planning a holiday, and we can put money in that or whatever. That's what this is saying. Well, if I'm going to start planning a holiday, well, I want to hit the gym so that I've got, you know, I'm healthy and can enjoy the holiday. Not necessarily about losing weight, but being healthy enough to climb that mountain. It's that sort of a scenario. It's going to shake your world up, but in a good way. It could be that, yeah, this is going so well that this person moves in with you. That's going to throw your house out of order, because you're going to be like, oh, crap, now I have to move their stuff in, and, you know, you've got to find a way of living together. And but it's all in a good way. Do you know what I hope that makes sense. So this is a shake-up, but in a very positive way. Now, the last card here is the addiction card, and this is good. This is letting go of bad things. So, look, I'm not getting specifically drugs, alcohol, gambling. Yes, that's addiction. You can be addicted to people, places, and things as well. But you can also be addicted to mindsets. It's never going to happen. I'm never going to make it. I'm not anybody special. Blah, blah, blah. All those things that are normal, natural, human thoughts and feelings that we all have. It's an end to that. So this, whatever this elderly thing is that's so good, it's going to start getting that negative thinking out of your head and put in the positive. Okay, so look, an addiction is something that normally does us harm, that we don't particularly want, but we have to have. That's basically what the addiction card is. So a lot of people are constantly in in that headspace of, I'm never going to make it, and I work my ass off at work, and, you know, when am I going to be recognized? I'm never going to be recognized. I'm never going to get a pay rise, or, you know, we get stuck in that headspace, right? And that's negative for us, because it creates negative energy, it makes us depressed and all of that sort of stuff. But the addiction part is that we go to that because it's kind of like, well, life isn't fair, and I want to dwell on this. I need to get it, you know, I need to... Sometimes it's kind of like, well, the simple thing to do in that situation is get another job. Look elsewhere. Like, if it's not working for you, if you're not getting that recognition, if you're not advancing your life moving forward, then it's time to make changes. That's just the general fact. But sometimes it's not that easy to make those changes. We may be tied into a mortgage and too scared to get another job in case it doesn't work out and we lose our house. You know, it could be, there's a multitude of things where we're trapped in that thinking of, I'm never going to make it, I'm not good enough, you know, nobody's ever going to love me, or whatever it may be. But that's the positive thing about this reading for you guys, is that there is something good coming, and it's long lasting. And through all of this, you're going to get rid of that negative thinking and be like, wow. Even if it's like, well, I'm never going to make it financially and blah, blah, blah. And then suddenly your business takes off, or you get another job, or you win the lotto, and then you've got that money. Then you're like, wow, okay, well, I am going to make it. That's great. But I'm still stuck on, well, nobody's going to love me, like, you know. But hey, I felt that way about money, and now I've got money. Why can't somebody love me? It has a knock-on effect. That's what I'm trying to say, a domino effect of when you start getting rid of the negative thinking, you start around one thing, it starts to bleed out. Just this exact same way as when you're in a positive headspace and a negative thing happens, and you start to dwell on that. Then it builds and bleeds out into the rest of your life and brings everything positive to a negative state. it does the same in reverse. Negative can clear and the positivity can spread. And that's what this card is indicating for you guys, okay? So this is a very, very positive reading for you. There's something ahead. Don't make any major... You don't have to physically do anything. Let it organically happen. There are going to be changes around you, but with the partner moving in, I'm not saying go and invite them to move in, but they may next week say, hey, how about we live together? It's automatically going to happen without you having to do anything. So that's good. So enjoy it and look on the bright side of things. You know, good things happen. Why can't more good happen? And that's basically what this is saying. Alright guys, I really hope that helped. If you do want a full reading, you can contact me at thegreenspsychic.com on my website or through the socials. Just a heads up, for people that have been booking on my website or people that are planning to, I've had to change the setup because the calendar that was up on my website was not syncing with everything else. I'm not tech savvy, so every time you went on, it would show as a blank calendar, which means people were booking in on my website and I already had readings, so I was doubling up on readings and it was causing havoc. So I've pulled down the calendar off my website. I've put up a form so that just let me know how long of a reading you want and a couple of days and times that suit you, and we'll work together to book you in, okay? Just remember, I do have an international client base, so I do work outside the normal hours by appointment on certain days and stuff, but we can figure that out if need be. I will be live on TikTok at 7 p.m. every Sunday night. Until next week, I really hope this has helped, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next week,